Hello folks, my name is Mark. This is Why I Hate the World. How you guys doing? So, as you're all aware, this past Sunday there was a massively gigantic mass shooting in Las Vegas where where around 58 people have been killed and over 500 injured, And as you usually see after tragedies like this, you always see lots of reaction type videos come out. But it's not very long before, it gets politicized, right? And you'll start seeing from the left and the right, people always look for someone to blame when this kind of thing happens, And part of that, I think, is part of handling the rage and to make yourself feel not so, powerless, is that you want to find, a way to prevent this from happening in the future, right? And people from both ends of the political spectrum attack that from different ways, not always the best way, right? Sometimes people say some pretty vile things. And so this morning I found this article from apparently CBS has fired one of their legal vice presidents, because she made some comments on Facebook to the effect of that she doesn't have sympathy for these people because they're Republicans. I'm paraphrasing here, but something to the effect of, let me see if I can find the exact quote here. If they wouldn't do anything when children were murdered, I have no hope that repugs will ever do the right thing. And I'm not even sympathetic because country music fans are often Republican gun toters. And so she was fired for this, which she should have been, right? Say what you will about people becoming, special snowflakes and getting offended at what people say, but a private company has the right to fire people for shit like that. Okay, you don't want people representing your company. That's just, I don't know, I agree with that 100%. It's like, yeah, get rid of her ass. But she has a point. She has a point. Her point here is badly articulated, right? And I don't, because I don't think anybody would ever say I have no sympathy for murder victims. I have sympathy for these people. I don't know who they are, but, nobody deserves to be gunned down in the fucking street like that. It's horrible, man, The thing is that, I also have sympathy for all the other mass shooters out there, I could go on Wikipedia and pull up a list of mass shootings. And I think we had something last year. We had as many mass shootings as there were days in the year almost. Something like that. Something ridiculous. It happens all the time. A mass shooting being defined as an instance where 4 or more people are shot. Constantly. It happens constantly in the United States, It hasn't been in the news lately because we have fucking President Trump dominating the news cycle. Right. So, but, just think last year. I mean, every couple of weeks, another mass shooting. Right. That didn't stop. Okay. That continues. That continues on. In fact, half an hour after this occurred, there was another mass shooting. I mean, this is not even the most recent mass shooting. There's already been another one since this happened. So, and you kind of think, and it's like, well, we really do have a problem in this country, right? Because this doesn't happen in other countries. This doesn't happen in other Western countries. And it's like, well, why? Why does it happen here and it doesn't happen anywhere else? I mean, how many mass shootings there were in Britain last year? 0. All right? 0. Okay? There were, it's Canada, 0. All right? Like, this shit just doesn't happen the same way and to the same, scale as it does in America. And when it does happen in other countries, for example, Anders Breivik, it's like a major deal. You know, it's like a incredibly huge thing. Well, the thing is, it's so common in the United States, it's not even that big anymore. And most of the time, it doesn't even hit the news. 5, 6 people get shot. Doesn't matter anymore, right? There's other fucking things. You know, Trump tweeted some stupid bullshit. We have to put that on the news instead. You know, it's like it's become part of just everyday life in the USA. You know, you're watching the news, and you know, traffic on the 101 is bad. Stay clear of that. And another news: 16 people got shot in a fucking barroom fight or whatever. You know, and you hear that, and then you move on the next day, and we never do anything about it. And the reason why we never do anything about it is because of Republicans. Okay, let's not BS ourselves here. That's why. Okay, nothing ever gets done about this because of Republicans. All right, because Republicans don't want any gun control at all, ever. You know, that's the reason why. Okay, it's you know, people like to blame everybody else. They like to blame the NRA. They like to blame, you know, when the chips are down, it's because of policies by Republican lawmakers and their support from Republican voters. And you know, the Second Amendment crowd is just too strong in this country. So even when some guy can take, you know, 10 rifles and go up on a fucking, you know, hotel room and fire a machine gun into a crowd of 20,000 and kill 50 people, we're still not going to see any kind of legislation to try to prevent that from happening. It's not going to happen. It won't happen now. It's not going to happen now because, you know, all 3 branches of the government are controlled by Republicans, right? And the people that vote for these Republican lawmakers aren't going to demand it because they think that, you know, every time there's a mass shooting, they think it's a conspiracy. They think it's a false flag. You know, there's a couple of threads on Reddit right now, and the way, you know, the title is, I'll see if I can put the link in the thing. The title is "The Donald Before and After the Identity of the Shooter Was Discovered," right? And it's a collection of posts, right? And before we identified the ethnicity of the shooter, everybody, right? And you know, if you don't know what the Donald is like an extremely conservative subreddit that basically, you know, fucking Trump bots and shit will just ban you if you say anything negative about Trump. And this is where all the stupid assholes with the frog memes and shit go, and right? Anyway, but before they discovered that it was a white guy, every single post was like, yeah, this is, you know, Islamic terrorism, and we need to deport all of them, and we need to like kick out all the refugees, and it was just like anti-Islam, and they're all bad, blaming Islam for it, and it's ISIS, and fucking it's the, you know, it's fucking ISIS, and it's all the immigrants and shit, right? Then after they discover it's a white guy, suddenly the tone changes, and and then it's something like, oh, I don't know why somebody would do this. Oh, and something smells fishy. It's probably a false flag. Okay, that is why nothing will ever happen, because they refuse to take, you know, the people who vote for the people in power refuse to take responsibility. They just will not take responsibility for the fact that their policies allow shit like this to happen. And when it does happen, they try to turn it into a conspiracy theory. They say it's false. They say it's fake. They say it's, you know, some kind of government conspiracy to shoot a bunch of people so that people will want gun control, right? That's what they said about fucking Sandy Hook, you know? That's why, you know, it's fucking, it got really bad with Sandy Hook, man. Like, you know, people are like, even still today, you know, harassing the parents of the children who were killed in that massacre and trying to get them to fucking exhume the bodies of like murdered children, you know, and it's ridiculous. This sort of toxic conspiracy culture has just like made these people insane, right? It's completely just fried their fucking brains so that they can't make decent decisions, you know, and it's with these people, it's a battle between good and evil. They think that it's fucking like Satan is taking over the country and shit. And, you know, and they, with their fucking little, you know, AR-15s and shit, are the only things standing between us and, like, one world government. Seriously, maybe I should do a video on this sometime. But anybody who's out there who delves into the conspiracy theory lore, you quickly discover how ridiculous and paranoid it all is. Well, this is the tangible result of that, of widespread, paranoia, right? Lack of education, and conspiracy culture on the electorate. And what it all adds up to is that they won't even fucking, they're paralyzed. They won't even take action when people are being shot from the fucking, when 50 people get shot in the streets. It's still not going to happen. It's ridiculous, man. So yeah, there is something wrong with our culture. There's something wrong with America, right? It's Republicans, all right? So fuck it. I mean, let's just, the truth is the truth, okay? Because to be honest, if Democrats were in charge of all three branches of government, right, we'd have gun control. That's just the fucking truth. And then, would that have prevented this? Maybe. Maybe the guy wouldn't have been able to get a hold of a gun that he converted into a fucking machine gun. Maybe not. All right. But, less people would be dead. All right. Every year. Okay. I mean, just let all this shit sink in for a little bit. All right. You're either going to do something about it or you're not. And the people that are there now are not going to do shit. And that's living in America right now. So if you want to blame somebody, blame the people that have the ability to fucking do something and won't. I guess that's what it comes down to. Anyway, adios, folks.